Hey everyone, Liam here from So Doughlicious Pizza, and in today's video we are going to cover quite a hot topic, especially in the UK at the moment, is how I personally manage our pizza dough, like when it's in the trailer during service or maybe even like the night before, and basically how we stop it from being too cold. And it's kind of like a little bit of an installation video this as well, purely because we've bought a new piece of equipment and we're actually going to be fitting it during this video as well. So basically at the moment, in the UK, I mean, I've kind of picked a bit of a weird time to do this. It's 6:30 in the evening at the moment, and it's currently inside the trailer at the moment. It's like 10.5 degrees, which is not horrifically cold. That's 10.5 degrees Celsius. So it's not horrifically cold, but it's still cold enough for the dough to kind of not really proof, and it's quite cold for the dough to like work with during service. Now obviously during service we've got both of our ovens on and working, and these, you know, they heat up the trailer in an absolutely massive way. So it's not uncommon, especially even like in this sort of weather, it's not uncommon for like inside the trailer to be at about 30 degrees during service, which to be honest is quite toasty and it's quite nice. But that is literally from oven height up. Everything sort of like below the oven is quite cold. It can get quite chilly in here, like on your feet if it's really cold. And this kind of brings me on to sort of like where we store our dough. So down here in the trailer we have what's called a Cambro front loader, and this is basically, it's a polystyrene, like super thick polystyrene insulated box, and this one is actually designed for pizza dough trays, like the 600 by 400 pizza dough trays. I'll open it up in a minute and show you. And because it's lower than the ovens, it's actually quite cold down here. So I have bought a heat mat, believe it or not. Now this is a thermostatically controlled heat mat. It's actually a seed heat mat. It's designed for like seedlings, for like flowers and vegetables and fruits. So effectively you get your little pots of seeds and you put it on here and it gives you a bit of warmth to it. Now, ironically, this is the exact size of a pizza dough tray. This is 400 by 600 mil heat mat. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to install this heat mat on the underside of the inside roof of the Cambro, and it, in theory, everything in theory, it should radiate a bit of heat into the Cambro, but keep that heat locked in. Fortunately, this is all like digitally thermal, like you can set the temperature. So it's got a little thermostat that's going to be inside the Cambro, and I'm hoping that it helps keep the dough at a nice workable temperature during service, because sometimes when you're busy and you've gone through a tray of dough and then you have to grab a tray of dough out of here that hasn't been at the ambient temperature of the trailer, it can be a bit cold and it's a bit difficult to work with sometimes. So I'm hoping that this actually helps, and it saves you using things like hot water bottles, which are not going to keep your Cambro at a constant temperature, as where I'm hoping that this will. It's not very powerful. I think it's 55 watts, so it's not overly like juicy on the electrical system of the trailer. So that's cool. So what I'll do, I'm just going to bring the camera down, and I'm hoping, is this magnetic? Oh, I'm going to pop you there. That should be enough. So this is the Cambro system that we've got in the trailer, and basically, I'm going to see if I can bring you just there. Is that magnetic? Maybe. No. Hang on, guys. Sorry. I'm just trying to make sure that it's you're not going to be able to see it all properly. So basically, yeah, this is the Cambro system. So it's just a front-loaded system with some clips on the side. And then, yeah, so when you open it, this is the inside of it. So it fits 600 by 400 trays in absolutely perfectly. Now you'll notice at the back, there's that blue plate. Now you can get heat plates for this, which replace that. So what that is at the back is that's actually a chiller plate. And that's used for the summer months. So that actually keeps this cold, where you've got the opposite problem. At the moment in the UK, it's very cold because it's the winter. And obviously in the summer, the trailer in here is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be like 50 degrees or so. So this helps keeps the temperature down, which stops your dough overproofing, as where at the moment we've got the opposite problem. So I've actually had a thermostat in here for the last couple of hours. And it's 11.3 degrees inside the Cambro, and it is 6:38 p.m. Okay, so what we're going to do, I am going to mount some Velcro strips to the underside of the roof of the Cambro, and this should fit absolutely perfectly. And then we're just going to see how this goes really, and see the sort of temperature that we can maintain within the Cambro. I'm just not sure whether to go onto the roof or onto the side, but I think it might be a bit tight on the side to have it. But it would also make installing it probably a little bit easier. I'm not sure. I'm going to stop the video now and I'm going to have a quick think, and we're gonna get this mounted. And yeah, I'll let you know the route that we've gone. But this is basically what we use to manage our dough in anyway, and this holds 8 dough trays. So this will actually hold 120 dough balls. They're fantastic. They're absolutely solid. They're so thick. Yeah, really top quality pieces of kit. Anyway, I'm going to figure out where we're going to mount this, and we're going to rock and roll. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to try and go for the top. I am going to try and go for the top of the Cambro. I think it'll be the best place for it and give the most. Right, so let's get this in. Let's just take that thermometer out for a second and pop this in here. So that's your length of the dough tray. So that's cool. Right, so we want to effectively bring that up and in there. I'm just thinking, just trying to figure out where this all stops. So it needs to be behind that section there. It might be a bit too big for the roof actually, which is weird because it's the same length, but I don't know whether that's about a heating area rather than overall length. Ah, we'll be okay. Fuck it, let's go. There we are. Okay. That's cool. Right, okay. Just going to get the strips off of the other parts. I've done this arse about face and Eileen. Let's get the other strips off. Dear oh dear. Cool, let's get that off. Let's get that off. And again, let's rock. From here, I'm just worried about this control module. Or the control module, what am I on about? Okay, let's go as far back as possible and just go. There we go. There we are. God, I made a meal of that tonight. Hey, I've done it. There we go. Right, so let's get you stuck on there properly. Hey, that's a proper job. Right, so that is now on. Let's bring you in here. So you can now see that that is all adhered to the underside. That should be all right. I don't think I'm going to need to worry too much about that. So let's pop you back there and rock and roll. Okay, so in theory, you've now got your little thermostat here, which needs to remain inside the Cambro. I'm just taking off these little wiring clips. God, I made a meal of that, didn't I? Dear, dear, I bet I look like a right dickhead doing that. So, in theory, this should still close. I hope. I really hope. Otherwise, I am going to look like a complete bellend. So if I bring that up around there, and we need to keep the thermostat in there as well. Hey, fucking yes, bruv. Amazing. So, I'm a genius. I am an actual genius. So, we've got the thermostat still in there. Let's plug this in. So I've got a plug over here which I can use. Now I think in reality, I will probably, when I've got a spare hour or so, I will probably run another electrical line over and install a plug socket above the Cambro. But yeah, so this is the system in there. So if we switch that on, so it's 13 degrees inside the Cambro. This is all timed, so you can set a timer on it for up to 12 hours, excuse me, or you can just set it to always on, which is what we're going to do. So temperature wise, I want that to be at 18 degrees inside. So I've set that, it's at 18 degrees, it's always on. So that's cool. Let's get our little thermometer in there. So this is at 12 degrees and it's going in at 10 to 7 p.m. We'll do that there. And the thermostat, I'm not 100% sure what to do with the thermostat. I could mount it just in there actually. It's got a little cubby in there, but it's not very sticky. I don't think that's going to go in there. So what I'll do, I'll leave the thermostat just in. In fact, let me tuck it in to that dough tray there. That keeps it out of the way. That's cool. Right, let's close that up. So it's 12.2 degrees. That's just changed. That's fine. Just making sure that that is nice and smooth in there. That's perfect. Okay, cool. So that Cambro is now closed. So it's not actually made any more of a gap, which is perfect. And that is telling me that that Cambro at the moment is at 14 degrees on the thermostat that we've just popped inside that dough tray. So let's see what happens. It's 10 to 7. I'm going to come back out here in a couple of hours anyway, because I've got to load up the trailer for tomorrow's service. And yeah, let's see what happens. Rock and roll. Cool. I'll see you in a couple of hours, guys. Okay then, everyone. So we are back inside the trailer. It is where have we got? 6. So 3 hours have gone by. I'm just gonna bring you around and show you that. So it's now 10 to 10 p.m. It's 9.9 degrees inside the trailer. So we have actually dropped the temperature down inside the trailer a little bit. However, we're going to take a look inside the Cambro and see where we're at. So let me bring you round, just tighten up this base on here. So yeah, we'll pop you just here, and like I haven't been into the trailer, and basically it's just saying here that we've hit our target temperature of 18 degrees. So that's great, isn't it? that's what we want. And what I'm actually going to do, because I genuinely haven't opened this yet, so I'm just going to unclip here, and we're going to go straight to the thermometer inside. So just opening up there, and there we go. So there's the thermometer. We're actually a little bit higher, so we're at 19.5 degrees there. So we're actually a little bit higher than where we should be. So that's not bad, but we're all good. The heat plate is there, living it up. So yeah, definitely something that I think is going to benefit us. So as I said, the thermometer just here is at 18 degrees, and obviously it's inside one of the dough trays just here. So this is obviously out in the open, and it's directly underneath the heat mat. So that's probably going to be, and obviously it's not got a lid on it either. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing in the super cold months to help sort of manage the temperature of our dough when we're out and about, like serving pizza, and it is really cold. As I said, I mean, it's 10 degrees inside the trailer at the moment. It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. We've got an event tomorrow, so I just thought I'd try and get this sort of installed today, really, just to see how it works tomorrow. And yeah, I think we're going to go from there. I do think this could also work on like a side setting on the Cambro, but it's just not quite it's not quite big enough. And then I think also if we do put it on the side, you kind of need one on the other side as well, because otherwise you're going to get an uneven heat distribution, as where at the top it covers the entirety of the roof of the Cambro, so that heat's just going to radiate down into the next tray of dough that I'm going to use. So for me, I think that was a more logical step for me to put it on the top of the roof. But yeah, basically that's how I am managing our dough in the colder months in the UK. Obviously we're like a week and a half into December now, so the UK's a funny country. Like, it doesn't really tend to get that cold until we sort of hit January, February, in my opinion. I mean, it's getting a bit colder now, but it's not massively cold. I mean, 10 degrees is not horrific. But yeah, I do think this is genuinely going to come into a bit more of a benefit in sort of like February time, when it's flipping Baltically cold. We're taking the trailer off the road in January, because we're going to do a few little upgrades within the trailer, and just some adjustments that we've got to make, that we've only sort of realised once we've opened that we need to change. So that's cool. But yeah, hopefully this is going to keep us good in the really cold months, and we're already set up for the really hot months because we've got the chiller plates. We've already bought those from Cambro. So yeah, that's how we manage the dough. I hope you found that helpful, and if you want the same one, then I'll pop a link for that in the description to the Amazon listing. And yeah, rock and roll. I hope that's been helpful. Cheers guys, take care, see you in the next one.